All right, being 7 o'clock, we'll call the Coos Bay City Council meeting to order, even though the clock doesn't say it, but it is up here. We'll go by the online time. All right, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we do have a quorum. There's two of us, the three of us here, and then we have two counselors online, Carmen Matthews and Sarah Stevens. And there'll be two counselors not attending this evening, Lucinda DeNovo and Stephanie Kilmer. That being said, the first item is public comments, and I have one that has written their name down, Benton Dugan for, yes. Pardon? Duggan, I apologize. Can you please come up and just give us your name and where you reside? Even though I mispronounced it, you can do it correctly for me.
A lot of people do that.
I apologize.
Hi, thank
Hi.
you. My name is Benton Duggan. We live at 725 South 5th Street in Coos Bay. I am here tonight to bring attention that the month of March, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Okay.
just trying to read what you wrote. Go
Yeah, it was
ahead.
a little messy. The month of March is National Brain Injury Awareness Month. And so I'll read some stuff and try to keep, anyways. So I need my glasses, that's why I'm having a hard time. There we go. Brain Injury Awareness Month, recognized each March, provides an important opportunity to bring attention to the prevention of traumatic brain injury, TBI, and to promote strategies to improve the quality of life for persons living with TBI and their families. TBIs caused by an impact or force to the head or body or a penetrating injury to the head affects millions of U.S. persons each year. Many people with disabilities have their lives defined for them. The More Than My Brain Injury campaign gives individuals a chance to overcome these definitions, allowing them to tell their own stories and to change the narrative of their lives. So this campaign lasts for 3 years, and it does that, and I'm wanting to bring that campaign to our community, but it's a little challenging for me because I'll be back to educate you guys more brain injuries, but it's challenging me to do that. So there's a governor's task force on traumatic brain injury. They started in 2013. It got updated in 2018. Each year, an estimated 1.7 million people in the U.S. sustain traumatic brain injuries through falls, unintentional blunt trauma, motor vehicle collisions, firearm incidents, and sports activities. And with at least 156,000 deaths, hospitalizations, and emergency department visits in the U.S. Due to TBI-related assaults, including domestic violence partnership. And at least 86% of people who are living on the street have sustained some type of brain injury in their childhood as adult. And my personal discovery is that most all of them have not gotten any formal rehab. And following that, how much time do I have?
14 seconds?
Oh, I didn't get my minute warning.
She gave it.
Oh, I didn't hear you, sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, well, it's not, because I have 14 seconds. Okay, so there is what's this thing, a proclamation?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't hear that at all.
We can hear about the proclamation, right?
If you want, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
Are you planning on reading it?
No.
Okay, go
No.
ahead.
But I just want to introduce it to you that
Sure.
there's a proclamation that's come down from the national
Okay,
that they want us to share with cities nationwide because the awareness is essential. So I'd like to, pass this off and have you guys do what you do with it. And numbers need to be put in, and it all needs to come together. So I don't know how to do that, but I can pass some of this to you guys, and then.
sure. So why don't you, you can give us the information, hand it to Nicole, or I guess that correct? And then we'll go ahead and review it, and we'll see about moving it on as a proclamation or whatever.
Okay.
Okay?
And so then,
And any information you have, you probably would want to give, or you can email it if you'd like.
Probably email would be better, because it's.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and then, well, who do I call to ask? Like, or do I just come back in 2 weeks?
I'm not sure if it'll become a proclamation, Roger. What's the process?
Yeah, the normal process is if we get a request, I send it to the council, and the council has to request to put it on the agenda. And if it's done, then we put it into the right format and then schedule it for a meeting.
Okay, so if you would email that to Roger, and he'll mail it to all the council, and then the council can make a decision on to move forward with it, move
Okay.
on it or not, okay?
Okay, and then also it would be like, probably for next year, because, March
Right.
is right now. So,
Okay,
But better late than never.
all right, thank you, appreciate it.
Awesome, thank
Mhm.
you.
Okay, are there any other public comments? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to the consent calendar. Council, how would you like to proceed? Oh my gosh, it'll be one of those nights. Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar as submitted. Are there any other comments? Questions? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Hearing none, it passes. Oh, okay. Next item is consideration to award bidding and construction management services for the construction of Pump Station 9. Jim?
Yeah, Stefan's going to give the
Oh,
presentation tonight.
Great. It's good to have you here again. One of these days, I'm going to recognize you because you won't have your mask on.
The following is in pursuit of completing a portion of Goal 2 of the 2021 to 2023 Council goals. More specifically, this is regarding the replacement of Pump Station 9. Pump Station 9 was originally constructed in 1966 and then upgraded to include a more robust control system in 1974. Since that time, there's been minimal additional work performed aside from routine maintenance. Within the last few years, the level of maintenance has increased to the point that it is no longer feasible to keep up with the required maintenance. Because of the many issues which need to be addressed with the upgrade of the pump station, it was decided that the pump station needed a complete reconstruction instead of a partial upgrade, which would target one or two specific issues. Over the last 9 months, city staff has been working with the Dyer Partnership to prepare the plans and specifications for the complete reconstruction of Pump Station 9. This will include demolishing the existing control building along with all mechanical and electrical equipment, filling the now superfluous dry well, replacing the 4-inch force main, repaving the access road to the pump station, constructing a new control building, installing a new 24-kilowatt generator, and housing, installing redundant 7.5 horsepower submersible pumps, a new effluent header, a watertight lid, a flow meter, fencing, and wet well lining. The existing wet well and control building foundation will be reused as they are still in good condition. City staff is now ready to bid the project and are seeking assistance from the Dyer Partnership to complete this project.
So, did we take RFQs or Qs for this Dyer Partnership, or just we have them in the routine?
They are an engineer of record. They're one of several engineers
Okay,
of record.
so we
that
just
use.
rotate through?
Mhm.
Okay. Do we have any idea what this is going to come in at? I know that we're really,
The engineer's estimate was about $700,000 for construction.
okay,
And then so typically another 15% top of that contingency. The total estimate I had was, our budgetary number was about $900,000.
all right.
Construction management, bidding.
So it'll just depend on the bids. So this is in Inglewood, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Council, comments, questions? Carmen, Sarah, anything?
Looks good to me.
All right. You want to take action on this, council? Someone make a motion? Interesting. All right, I need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to award the contract for bidding and construction management services for the construction of Pump Station 9 to the Dyer Partnership for $119,715, which includes a 15% contingency.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to award the bid to Dyer Construction, or Dyer Partnership for the construction of the pump station. Any other comments on this? Hearing none, All in favor, say aye. Aye?
Aye.
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 We can't,
There you go.
yeah, Carmen and Sarah, they can't be, no, we cannot hear you guys. But so there's a problem. Should we wait and make sure, try to get that squared away?
Were they audible for the consent calendar?
I don't know.
May want to rerun that one anyway then.
Right. Carmen said he voted aye. So Carmen can hear us and Sarah, but we can't hear him or Sarah.
Well, now we can talk about them without rebuttal.
They might be fast texters, huh?
I'm just waiting for a nasty message on my phone now.
Testing.
There's no, I mean, that's the same settings that always is, so I'm not certain.
Can you, Carmen, can you try to speak again, please?
Can you hear me now?
It looks like they're muted, it looks like, I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
He's unmuted.
Hmm.
Sarah, can you hear me?
So how do you want to proceed then? We need to make sure, since we don't have a quorum here.
I'm asking, you actually got a vote from Carmen, so you.
I got a vote from Carmen saying aye.
I mean, they can put their thumbs up.
Sarah, can you hear me?
So guys, on these
Yeah.
votes, can you
Yeah, I
put your
can hear you,
thumbs up? Will that work?
Okay.
Or your hand up? Nothing.
Do we have them call it?
They could do that. Use that same, there we go, there's Carmen.
Okay. Thank you. So we're going to go back.
Sarah
Huh?
Stevens just sent me a message. She's voting yes.
Okay. All right. We have a vote. Yes. Also, Sarah and Carmen, let's just go back and, as Drew suggested, maybe we should go ahead and approve the consent calendar since we didn't verbally hear you guys. So let's, all in favor of the consent calendar, say aye, or raise your hand, or whatever way you can, or text us, please.
Aye.
Okay? All right.
Carmen
All right,
votes,
aye. Sarah?
Sarah is voting yes.
She got a thumb.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, next item is consideration of award on the on-call electrical services. Are you handling this, Jim?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
For the past few years, we've had on-call electrical services contracts. These on-call contracts save city staff time when procuring electrical services for projects that we have with our facilities. The current contracts that we have in place are ready to expire, so we bid out again and received 2 replies, one from Kyle Electric, one from Maurice Electric. They both came in with the same cost proposals. That cost proposal is on a table in your report, and staff is asking the council to consider award of and authorization to the city manager to sign a contract with Kyle Electric and one with Reese Electric to provide on-call electrical services.
Any questions, anyone?
So how's it work where you have 2 of them? Who gets called first? Is it just We typically straight on? rotate.
So who was our previous providers?
It was the same.
Same ones, okay. And so others can participate if they wish?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and with our contracts, there's no guarantee that one of these 2 will necessarily go with them. We may go with a third party.
Just depending on the situation?
Just depends.
Okay, so that being the case, council, I need a motion to approve if you so desire.
Carmen put something in the chat.
He noted that the bids looked acceptable to him.
Okay.
I'm glad you guys see it. I
Yeah,
can-
Same with Sarah. She agrees
I
with
just see the
Carmen.
box, so I assume. I got
Okay. All right, so someone needs to make a motion, please. It's your turn, Drew.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, 1 sec. I left the tablet in your office. No, I got it.
You got it?
I move that we award and authorize the city manager to sign a contract with Kyle Electric and to Reese Electric to provide on-call electrical services.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to award Reese and Kyle Electric the on-call electrical services. Carmen is virtual. Hey, Carmen. Okay. All in favor, say aye or raise your hand or thumbs
Aye.
up. Sarah? That's very good. All right.
She's saying yes.
All right, thank you. We are at city manager's report. Wow.
So I wanted to share with you that I had asked our planning administrator, Carolyn Johnson, to reach out to Wash to Shore at the request of the council to see if we could try and open a line of communication and hopefully get to an opportunity where we could display some of their artwork that was made up from salvaged plastic from the waterways. We had a very pleasant conversation with their new director, and it appears, and you want to go to the next slide there. It appears that we may have an opportunity before us. We're still working out the details. But as you may recall, we did approach them several years ago, but at the time they wanted between $10,000 to $25,000 to display one of their art pieces for a 6-month period. It appears that now that they actually warehouse some of their items here, they want to be involved in this community. And we are at least exploring an opportunity where they'll display one of their art pieces, and we talked about this one, the eagle, in a prominent location. They would not be charging us, but we would be providing or installing some decorative, like wrought iron fencing around it to protect it, and then assisting them with getting some interpretive signs up, along with one of their small collection stations where they would collect things that people picked up out of the waterways, and that could possibly be reused for future art projects. So I'll be bringing more information to you as that evolves.
Great. I hope everyone supports it. I know I was a fan, so.
I sent you an email earlier this week. We were approached by landscape designer and, in this case, artist, Mike Bond, who's in our audience, about a cement wall that is on the northern edge of our city limits on 101. It was a containment wall, as I understand it, as part of the old Chevron or Standard Oil fuel depot at that location. Those tanks have been gone for years. At first, I think we all believed that that was on private property, but upon looking at the GIS mapping, it is not on a tax lot, but in fact, it's sitting in a right-of-way belonging to ODOT. Mr. Bond put together a, what do we call it, Mike? Well, it's a working waterfront, but it's a depiction of a proposed mural on that wall that could be painted on there and give some art. As I shared with the council earlier today, that some of the murals that we have helps with our sense of place in our community. We've had murals inside the city for a number of years, and I don't want to jinx us, but the reality is once we put something nice on a wall, we tend not to have graffiti on it. People respect that, but it's a nice attraction to our waterfront. We have taken the liberty of having one of our staff members reach out to ODOT to see what they think, because it actually is in their right of way. We would probably want to reach out to the potential buyer of the property to the north of that, since that's pending right now, and we would need to reach out to the port, since the wall itself is so close to the rail, and they'll require, should a project move forward, they'll require some agreement, even though we haven't seen a train on that line for a while. But
So, just to get a consensus, I guess, do you want to move forward on this and get, look into all the details, and you support something like this? I know Carmen, I saw an email that Roger sent out, Carmen responded, he said he was in favor of it. And so, I'm not sure how Sarah feels and the rest of you.
She had her thumbs up.
Sarah put a thumbs up.
I saw in one of the designs, it was also looking at something, I think that's on a retaining wall going up, was that going up Ocean Boulevard?
that's a
that's
different
another one.
project, and I'll talk about that next.
Okay, I like that one better than this, just because I don't want people looking at developing in that area to see the wall and think it's immovable. But I do like the one at the other place. And I
So-
like the design on it. I
So
like,
Okay, so you don't support this one then?
no.
Okay, because of the location?
Yeah, I want to see people develop there more, and it's near, development's already going on. And I don't want them to get the impression that that wall is supposed to be there forever.
So okay, so for clarification, this is a separate piece of property, we believe that's owned by Chevron. It's not part of any other development going on at this time.
The property itself is not owned by anybody. It's actually ODOT right-of-way. It's owned by the state.
Okay.
So I'm not sure it can be developed on.
But I understand you're concerned that the development around there, right? Now, this is just south of the chip pile.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Rob?
So, Mike, are you going to be looking for any more funding, or you want it to be totally funded by the city?
Right, the towboats there, Coos Bay Towboat has participated in the mural across from the Egyptian before, and they were pretty generous. And I've talked to them about this for months, and they're in support of it, and they would be in support of it. I'm not sure what other supporters might be there available, but that's part of my job, is to raise the funding, and respond to the amount of it and how well it goes. But both sides will be painted. It's just kind of there's a chip out of the south end of it about 4 feet long and some rebar sticking out. And it just looks like it's an abandoned piece of property, and I've put up art before that came back down. So I don't mind. If some developer comes in and wants to develop it, fine, but in the meantime, it improves our highways and perception of our care for our community.
That's true.
It's also, the North Bend is on the north side, and Coos Bay is on the south side. It's about a block from our city limits. And something I realized yesterday, that both towboats are, what they do is they pull and they push boats away from the dock, But one of the things, it's not a straight wall, it's a bent wall. And it appears to be pushing the wall crooked in an arc, that the towboats are pushing this to bend it.
Okay.
So, that's kind of interesting artistically anyway.
Kind of looks like the bottom of a ship, too, the way you have it.
Yeah, the mural over by the Egyptian was intended to have a presence of our shipping economy here, even though a ship might not be in right now, like at the chip pile. But if you go by there, you may think that you just saw one, because it looks like a ship. And traveling at 45, there's a lot of time just to glance at it, and the kids might remember seeing a ship there. But,
Right.
The point is that it represents our economy here on the waterfront, and Highway 101 is our best salesperson for that.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, Carmen had commented that he thought that wall had needed attention for quite a while. And I agree, Sarah's agreeing. Why would you impede development? Or why would it impede development?
I don't want it to have the perspective that somebody's doing something with the lot is basically where my logic was, but on the other hand, the wall is ugly, so.
Rob?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with moving forward. I'm
We can certainly reach out to the-
It's going to come back to us again anyway. right?
It would.
Right.
We can certainly reach out to the port, and then we can talk with the potential owner of the property to the north as well.
Okay. And then I know that Stephanie had a concern, but you clarified it. She thought it was going to be the wall behind our Coos Bay sign, I believe.
Correct.
So,
Correct. I have spoken with her, and she agrees, she liked the idea.
okay. All right,
Um,
and as Rob mentioned, and you stated that this will be coming back before us anyway.
Correct. And it was, as I shared with Mike, it seemed timely that he should ask, because just the week before, Counselor Kilmer reached out to me. She had been reporting every time she drove by Ocean and Lincoln about that large retaining wall there, and it was constantly getting tagged with graffiti, and the vandals would tag it, and then our public works staff would go out and paint over it, and only to have it the next morning graffitied again. It hasn't been graffitied in the last couple of days, but her thought was, and I think she understands, that most of the walls that have murals on them have been tag-free to this point. And she thought maybe if we covered up that large wall with some art, that it might prevent the unsightly tagging. It was her idea then to bring this forward. It would need to come to a council meeting, not to an urban renewal meeting, because that's outside the urban renewal. But to consider maybe a process whereby we would go out for a request for proposals to local artists, have them submit proposals, and then use some type of process to identify which one the council would like to move forward. Of course, as soon as I mentioned that to Mike, he came in today with a scaled or a rendering, or just to show that something could be done, and it could be tastefully done.
Can you speak about that a minute?
Good to me.
Well, I didn't see this one.
This is not a copy, but a rendition of a 500-year-old woodblock print by Hokusai. It's a 15th century printmaker famous for the wave, that we all have probably seen. Anyway, this is called Ocean Wave, that's what he called it. And so I thought, well, Ocean Boulevard, Ocean Wave, you're on your way to the beach or coming back.
Right.
This is what to expect. We don't have a beach here in this town. Every other town in the coast does. And so there's our beach on the wall. But Hokusai put fishing boats on it like the wave, and I put a couple of surfers.
I saw those two.
What's that?
I saw those two.
Yeah. Well, they'd be about 6 feet tall.
Oh, yeah, I imagine they'd be a little bigger.
Yeah, the wall's 9 feet in the middle, and it slopes to 4 feet on the north and 6 feet on the south. It's 160 feet long.
Carmen would like the surfer part.
Yeah, I like this one. I mean, I like
So,
both of them,
does the council have consensus to move forward on this? And this is definitely one proposal, but there might be others that the council prefer, but I appreciate Mike doing this, and so if you're all right with that, we'll have it come back.
Yeah, I like the idea of going out for
Okay.
proposals. We get options.
And Sarah says yes,
Yes, this is a great idea to put a mural in
Okay.
here.
and Carmen thumbs up, I presume, because your email said you supported everything, so, on the email. Okay, all right.
So staff will work to put together some type of proposal.
Okay.
Document to put out.
Thank you, Mike,
and
appreciate
we'll-
it.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we'll have some internal discussions first
Sure.
to talk about a selection process, or possibly using the design review committee, or possibly talking with our friends at Coos Art Museum to see if they could help in some type of selection recommendation.
Okay. All right, anything
And-
else?
Yes, I'm going to turn the rest of my comments over to the assistant city manager.
Okay, we can just have, city manager's report and assistant city manager's report, right?
Sounds just like a discussion we had this morning.
Nicole?
I wasn't gonna do a PowerPoint, but that's kind of the thing we do, I guess, so. I communicated to you guys a little bit earlier, about, which we all probably know, but the, governor's office has released the, option of removing the mask requirements effective essentially on March 12th. And so that started the conversation internally about what we want to do. We have a barricade in finance for our customer service window, and then obviously we have the barricades here. And if there was interest to contemplate removal of the barricades here in council chambers, we did discuss in finance, potentially bringing that barricade down as well. The Public Works barricade has been out for a bit due to the nature of their work. They often get, large plans. It's just easier to not have to work around that barricade. So that's the first part, is to maybe have a discussion on the barricades here.
So did you say you are taking them down in
We're
finance?
going to remove the finance one, yes.
So in the offices, you're going to remove them then, correct?
Yes. The
And-
finance window is the only one that's up currently.
Okay.
And I would share that if this is something that you want to ponder on and consider and discuss at the next meeting, you certainly could do that as well.
Yeah, I think I would rather have more input. I mean, we have two that can't really talk to us and two that are gone, so I'd like to hear from them.
Yeah, and personally, we went through this discussion last time, and it was the council's decision to leave them up, and then shortly after that, we were back with mask mandates. So at this point, I'm going to tell you how I feel, and then we'll wait for the rest of the council to weigh in, and when they all can make their comments personally or in person themselves. But I like to see them stay on for a while, just to make sure that we're on the right track. Because then I'd hate to have them come back down and then go back up. And then we can not wear masks or wear masks however one wants. That's my take on it though, at this time.
And that is Sarah's comment as well. She would prefer to keep them in chambers at this time.
Sarah said that?
Yes.
Okay. Carmen has thumbs up, so he agrees.
Yep.
Yes.
So Drew agrees, and I think, well, Rob, you want to wait for the others, or you just agree?
No, I'm fine. I'm
Okay.
fine with leaving them.
So at this time, and then at some other time, if it needs to come up in discussion for the other counselors and they want to move forward in taking them down, then we can have the discussion another time.
Yep. Sounds
Okay,
good.
whenever anyone wants to bring it up.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you. And then the next thing I just wanted to talk with you guys about is our Granicus project. Currently, Granicus is the provider of our meeting and agenda minutes platform. They obviously do a number of other things for government entities, and one of the things that they do is website work. So we're working with them for website redesign. Looking at an upgrade to our meeting and agenda platform, and also a communications tool. So I just have a couple shots of one example of a website that we are looking at as far as formatting goes. The content is still to be developed, but this is just kind of a general look that might be to the website. And then this is a view of what Newport, the city of Newport actually uses this new, it's Peak is their agenda platform. And so it's a little bit more interactive. It allows the user to have the agenda up along with the video of the meeting, the Teams call or Zoom, whichever we end up in. And then there under the video screen, you can see links to the agenda items. And that actually, if they click those links, they'll go straight to the video section, so they can really zoom down on what they'd like to watch in the council meeting. It's a little bit more user-friendly on staff's side. We have a little bit more ability to manipulate the agendas a bit. We're really in a hard, fast template where it is right now. So when we want to do a special meeting, it takes a lot of effort. We actually have to work with Granicus to change the template from the background. This will give us a little bit more flexibility there. And I think it's a much better tool for our citizens.
It definitely looks that way, and Carmen gave 2 excited thumbs ups. So the other thing is, so with the new law, we can allow people to make comments
And so
easily.
they'll come in on teams. Right now, we're kind of a limited setup. And we have to kind of remember this limited setup only came about because we had some concerns with COVID to give people access to meetings to attend remotely. So we did that, we jumped fast and put that in place in May of 2020. And we're still using that setup today without much modification, but that limitations, one video, that video feed can go to one place. We're sending that to YouTube. That gives the greater audience ability to watch. That limits the people coming in on Teams. You don't get to see what's happening in council chambers. You can hear it, you just don't get to see it. So
Right.
this model will remove that kind of limitation for those coming in on Teams. It will be able to split that out.
So if I log on virtually and I'm participating in a meeting, I'm going to be able to see the council and also, and hear, right? I won't
Yes.
have to get another computer and do it.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
great.
And that allows us, I know there's a little bit of discussion too, Teams and Zoom, and I know a lot of people are using Zoom, but there are some security concerns that our IT consultant has with the Zoom platform versus with Teams. So that has been kind of the driver to stay where we're at. And I think the solution is going to allow us to do that, but still meet needs for those attending on Teams. And then last, I don't really have something to represent this, but their Gov Delivery platform, which kind of helps us create somewhat of a one voice. There will be a linkage between, for example, our newsletter, our website, our Facebook page, and we can also do some texting. People can sign up specific to, let's say you always want to get the meeting minutes. You can sign up and we can send that out to you in a text message. It can be accessible, easy to just go straight to our website. And so they call it their communications tool. We are very preliminary starting with this, so I don't know what that's going to look like just yet. It is used significantly across the nation. Even in some of our federal government offices use their tool to communicate to their citizens. It also gives us access to their network of subscribers, so it will potentially could increase, people's interest outside of our, kind of limited community here. So I'm kind of excited to see where this part will go. I think there's great potential there. And it helps pull it all together in one. So right now we have a consultant that helps with our newsletter and also with our Facebook posts. It'll kind of be a one and done. It can push to multiple places. So it'll make that process a little bit easier. We've brought that consultant in this group to start giving us a little bit of input on this process and where they may step in and help moving forward. So we have a group of staff who is meeting to kind of work through the website redesign. We have a couple folks from the library who are participating in that because they just did a library website redesign. And then a couple members from the police department, one of their members who's the social network poster, and an unknown IT guy over there. So he will be really helpful as far as just some of the backside of how the website works. So we're excited. We're just starting these processes. We are pushing for the peak Clearcaster, the meeting minutes side, to be our first project to push out, and we're hopeful we can get that in a few weeks. So,
Great.
anyone has any questions? That is the last I have.
Well, it's, Drew or Rob, questions? I think it's great. I think Carmen's excited about it. Sarah, I don't know, but when do you think this will happen?
So it's a lot to undertake, and maybe a little bit more than we imagined first biting off. So with focusing just on the agenda software, that conversion, we're hoping to really get that up in the next 2 to 3 weeks. There's a little bit of training we need to do. They won't release us without doing some training. So that's our challenge right now, is finding the time to get that training time in.
Okay.
The website, you know, they kind of told us that typically is a 6-month to 8-month
Sure.
timeframe. And then the communications tool can go pretty quick. We just have to come up with the topics we'd like, you know, so it's an orderly process. If you want to sign up for a specific number of things, it's, you know, kind of a little bit more orderly, and it's new to
Sure.
us. So what do we really think is important? One thing that's nice about the communications tool is it's going to gather data for us, and we're going to be able to see the things that our community finds important. So we can maybe focus on that delivery of information.
Okay.
So if people are signed up for Friday update, are they still gonna be on there? They're not gonna have to re-sign
Yeah,
up,
we'll
are
just
they?
transition that list over, so yeah, it'll be the same kind of thing, and we'll still use that process, although we may use their tools for delivery of the newsletter. We're still working with our consultant we currently use, to kind of see how that might work out.
Also want to make sure as they design that it's something that'll be mobile friendly.
Yes.
That design didn't look like it might be, but
Well, yeah, it's tough to tell from that
Yeah.
screenshot, but yes, their focus is definitely mobile friendly and also making sure that we are providing access to all. So there's translation
oh, cool.
ability there. There is some ADA compliance kind of thing, so text sizing and things like that. They have all of those kind of tools in their back pocket because those are important today.
If you ask them if it's compatible with Dragon software, you'll throw them off and make them think.
Yeah?
It's adaptability for blind.
Okay.
Oh,
It's a common one.
all right. Sorry about any other more interaction from the two counselors online, but is that anything else, Nicole?
That was it. I can say Sarah's got a post here that says websites, new media always takes more time than we think or want. I appreciate the efforts and direction.
I think that's it.
All right. Okay, council comments. Unfortunately, Carmen and Sarah, unless you can do something, otherwise, I apologize. So Drew, council comments?
I got nothing.
Rob?
I just have, there was a letter to the editor, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, and the author was stating that the library roof project was estimated to cost $400,000 and it actually cost $700,000.
Yes.
So I just want to clarify that that's inaccurate. The estimate was $810,635 and the actual cost was $418,889.25.
I was going to come on the same letter because it also says, the mayor says if the levy fails, there will still be a library. I never said that. I said if the levy fails, that eventually, if we don't do something in 4 years, the library goes away. So I just want to make that correction also.
And the only other thing I have is I want to congratulate Melissa on actually having the official title of finance director now. And
Yep.
Nicole is our official assistant city manager. Although now that you're lower, it looks like you got demoted. So I'm not sure. And that's all I have.
Yep. Congratulations to both on those, and that's the end of my comments. So if that's it, we'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you, and have a good evening. All right. You got tired of my photo hanging around, Nicole? I presume this came from your desk or office or something, right?